Oh, man. Is it any wonder that the mantra 10 years ago when we started this was, we're not ready?
Oh, I'm adding this to my tight 10 about why J-Mac's a deadbeat. If anyone was in Hawaii with me, you saw a little bit of this.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history that will come out on stage tonight that you may not be familiar with. How many, well, I'm going to assume only 30% of you, maybe less, maybe as low as 9%, even know why you're here. You know, the theater's got its own mailing list, so the chances are you saw the names of our guests and you said, wait a minute, what? Jim Jefferies and Pamela Adlon's going to be in this theater? I'm going. What's the show? I don't care. I'm going to go see the... So I'm going to assume we have a percentage of that. Sam Levine.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Hello. Hello, thank you, sir.
Jamie Foxx.
Yes. You might have to clarify. It's Jamie A. Foxx.
You want to clarify?
J-A-I-M-E.
Yeah, J-A-I-M-E.
F-O-X, 1X.
1X.
I don't have an Oscar.
Sam, what do you got?
J-Max texting, he says it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Still adding it to my tight 10.
Yeah. But by the way, that's what we've heard for 10 years.
It's true.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
So for 10 years now, we've been doing this this live streaming talk show, various platforms that we started on, Ustream. You know, 10 years ago, there were less than 50 podcasts, period. There are, depending on who you ask, between 300 and 600,000.
That's probably you're lowballing it.
Yeah. In Los Angeles, being asked to be on someone's podcast is jury duty.
If Sarah Silverman has an annual party, then there's a plaque next to the bar that says, don't ask people to be on your podcast. It's not this sort of situation. Just be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no podcast. No, it was no podcast soliciting. That's what it was. There was a plaque that said no podcast soliciting.
Which I'm sure only happened because it was rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone in attendance...
I guarantee you everyone in attendance has a podcast.
Had a podcast, yeah. So 10 years ago when we started, there was so few that, you know, you would have to explain to people what it was you were doing because they had no idea what podcast meant.
Especially an on-camera live streamed podcast.
Yeah, suffice to say all these years later, I clearly went the wrong way. When I said put cameras, we would be live streaming video podcast. So we thought, well, how many people are really going to watch live? And for the most part, no one watches television live. So why would they watch a podcast live? But 10 years ago, you did watch live television.
Sure.
It was a thing.
It was more of a hangout because I ran the chat room. So it was like people would tune in live and then they would come and hang out in the chat room. And then there was... it's not that many, but it was probably low thousands.
Well, the biggest number we got was Sugar Ray Leonard. I'll never forget.
That's right.
85,000 people watched live.
Yep.
Now, normally it was 500. So to really give you an idea, 85,000 was stop the presses.
Yep.
Truly, and
we still never had him back. What the hell?
Didn't like the big number. Didn't care for it.
It was off-putting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're coming to you, for those of you listening after the fact, or watching after the fact, from the Dynasty Typewriter Theatre in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Yeah. First time ever doing the show here, and the last. Yeah, this has been billed as
No, that's not true. You did the Whitney Cummings episode here.
Son of a bitch.
Ah!
People ask, what's your favorite episode? I don't remember any of them. I really don't.
See, this is why I'm here to
It
remind
is.
you
Well,
things that you forget.
It's reason number 3. We're going to do the last 2 episodes in front of you. The first one with Jim Jefferies, the second one with Pamela Adlon. We'll take a little 30-second break in between just to clear the palate. If you need to go to the restroom, you know where they are. Feel free to get up like you would normally for any show. But there will not be a break, is what I mean to say. So Whitney Cummings and I did a show here, which reminds me to thank all of you for braving the storms out there. Because when Whitney Cummings and I were here with little to no press, there were
10 people. It was 10
people. There were 10 people.
It was a really good interview, though.
You're welcome.
It was.
No, she's phenomenal.
I'm trying to be sincere and put a positive spin on it.
It had to be called out. That's how Rare.
How rare it is
That
that I'm
sincerity
sincere
is, yeah.
and nice.
So this is how the show would normally work, where I would try to get something across and make a mistake, and these two would laugh, and then one of them, they would take turns, basically pointing out what old man Pollock fucked up this time. Well,
We actually had
the list is endless.
we had a system.
Which
Whatever
was-
we would just like lightly.
Here,
touch.
now that we're ending, so
Yeah, please.
For the first 3 years of the show, even though the guest sitting in front of Kevin had never heard that particular story or one-liner before, Kevin often failed to realize that the listening, viewing audience, who was there week after week, had heard it at that point 95 times, like me and Jamie.
And we've heard it 500
And we'd heard it 500
times.
times. So every time he would make a joke we'd heard multiple times, this is what would happen.
Yeah, we just touch each other's knees. Like,
Touch each other's knee.
Like, we'd be like,
Just a quick touch to the arm or the knee. Just,
Yeah.
yep, we both acknowledged it.
So like 11
It's happened again.
11 times during every episode. That would
Yeah,
happen.
for the most part.
So we're not ready. The end of 10 years was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. That's what I wrote down because these two will quote Simpsons until they pass out. Let's start with Sammy in terms of any fond memories you may have from the 10 years.
I have so many fond memories.
I bet you do.
And in no particular order whatsoever. I have to talk about the time we had America's favorite uncle, Tom Hanks, on the program, double fisting PBR.
Yeah, so I would send out an email saying there'll be food and beverage there, but if you want anything in particular, please let me know so I can have it waiting. He said some Pabst Blue Ribbon
Yep.
would not be bad. It was the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
He had just finished promoting 2 films.
Yep.
The
Saving
Saving
Mr.
Mr. Banks and,
Yeah, I'm the captain now.
oh yes,
Captain. Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips.
Don't kid yourselves. That's what you
I
call
love
the
how
movie
we
also.
remembered Saving Mr. Banks, though, which is the forgettable one. Because
Yeah,
of it.
I would say the
Yeah.
one where he played Disney. That's how I would
Yes.
explain that
Yeah.
movie. So he just finished
Also not a
promoting
great
both.
movie.
And the week before Christmas, and he was ready to have a few. And so at one point he did say, "This is my bitterness juice, and this is my happy juice."
Yeah.
And to see Tom Hanks have anything called bitterness juice is why I would agree.
Yeah, that was a pretty memorable memory.
I was excited because I got to show him that my friend Corey Levin and I, one year for Halloween, went as Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks from 1987's Dragnet in the pagan costume.
In
Yeah.
the pagan costume specifically.
a very specific
I- the-
scene from
with
Yes.
with the fur chaps.
Yeah, we had our goat leggings.
Goat
Don't forget your goat leggings.
Yeah.
Another fond memory, and I know Jamie also enjoyed this one. We had Henry Winkler, the Fonz.
Careful, we're going to show a clip.
Well, we had Henry Winkler, the Fonz on, and it was great. Another fond memory.
Yes.
Fred Willard.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Mr. Fred Willard. So we would do this thing where
He's the only one out of 400 that did this.
The only one out of 400 that did this. So we would have a thing where the guest would physically be at the table, but Kevin would let them know, listen, you're not going to be on camera until I formally introduce you.
And why was that the way we did it? Because the
I
very
can
first
have
show.
an answer. Yes,
Yep.
because one of my favorite memories was on the first show. We didn't realize that we needed to do that, and LeVar Burton had to army crawl underneath the cameras to get to his seat.
Yep, because we were pointed the wrong way back in the early days. But so Kevin tells Fred, you're not going to be on camera until I introduce you. And Fred says, sure. So then Kevin gives the show intro. He answers some viewer mail or whatever. And then as he is getting into what is clearly the introduction for Fred Willard, Fred knows he's now going to be on camera in a matter of seconds, inexplicably removes his shirt,
At the age of 70?
at least.
Yeah.
And is just sitting there bare-chested
Yeah.
and does not acknowledge it at all.
Nope.
That's what Fred Willard does.
Yeah.
That's why he's
and then,
brilliant.
And then when I said, ladies and gentlemen, Fred Willard, the camera revealed him. And the table comes up to here. So
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, he was naked.
Yep. Yep. And
Not a bad rack, as I
And a
remember.
grateful nation.
And a grateful nation.
Yep.
Technically, we're worldwide.
We are
I
worldwide.
don't know if you heard.
And then lastly, I'll just say either of the times one of my comedy heroes, Weird Al, was on the show.
Yeah.
That for me is the cherry on top of.
Is one of the nicest people on the planet, and he
Ever.
brought so much swag, like we're like Al swag, and like signed it, and like sat there and like signed it for everybody, and was and like gave like it was amazing.
So much.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't
So
even strange when he asked us to pay for it at some point.
Yeah.
Because there was so much of it.
Yeah. It was really good.
So I have a couple memories, and we
Or you could ask me.
we have. I thought you just gave 2. Yes, Jamie. What are your memories?
One of them, another one is that one where we have a clip for with Hank Azaria.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyhow. But I have to share. There's some off-camera memories that I have
cool.
that I wanted to share. One of which was it was like our second or third show, and this was like the birth of Twitter. And Jim Gaffigan was teaching Joe Montana what Twitter was. Like Oscar, like he
In
had
the outer office area.
in the office. He was like trying to explain to him what Twitter was, and it was just very endearing.
Yeah.
Another great memory is whenever we decided to just do this like audio only, and we were recording at Earwolf. It was across the street from the Arby's in Hollywood, and when we did the David Harbour show, we're like, we're going to Arby's afterwards, and he's like, I fucking love Arby's. Let's go to Arby's.
Yeah.
And so the 4 of us ate at Arby's, and everyone that walked in is like, why the fuck is Sheriff Hopper here at Arby's?
Yep. From
But
Stranger Things.
To be fair, very true to his character. He would definitely eat at
He had a
Arby's.
Sheriff Hopper type
He
hat
did.
on.
Yeah, he was not helping himself at all.
Did not
with
have a
that.
badge, but he did have a very
He
similar.
took many photos in that Arby's.
Yeah.
And he sat there and had some
And we
horseshoe
shared
sauce.
mozzarella sticks. It was
And,
amazing.
Just a quick shout out to Arby's, who sent me $50 worth of gift cards, and that is where I use them. And to feed the 4 of us, by the way, $36.
We ate a lot.
Yeah, we
ate
did.
a lot. We were hungry.
And lastly,
Okay.
Ileana Douglas
Yeah.
found a Kevin Pollak Chat Show T-shirt in a Goodwill and tweeted it out. And that made me very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had started every broadcast or today with literal egg on my face, Jamie would be happy. Because it wasn't until I had egg on my face at some point during the show that she started enjoying what we were doing. It's been the greatest gift. It really has. May I? Should I?
Please.
Okay. Well, we have 2 clips, and I want to get to them because they're both great. One of them's very short, which is the Henry Winkler that you both remarked to. It was Easter Sunday. Maybe only a year or 2 into the broadcast. You could look it up on
I think
your...
it was a month into the broadcast.
There we go. 1 month. This is
Yeah.
why you have 37-year-olds with you at all times.
We were definitely still at Mahalo.
Yeah.
At the time. That
Yeah.
studio.
So it was Easter Sunday, and the Fonz, Henry Winkler, I had to reach out to a fellow Jew on Easter,
You know they wouldn't be doing anything.
just so we could celebrate.
Celebrate what, Kevin? That you sold him the lumber at retail? That's his own bit.
Thank you for quoting my bit halfway through. I'm not saying we had anything to do with killing Christ. I'm simply saying we sold him the lumber at retail. Actually, the whole thing was God's plan, so you're welcome. We did our part. So Henry Winkler, when the earthquake hit, this happened. Roll clip, please.
Got a lot closer together when you were doing the play.
Fantastic. We had dinner every night together.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
There is an earthquake going on right now.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
That is an earthquake.
You can see all the
Oh,
light
wow.
shaking in here.
We've had our
think we're
first
okay.
live
Having-
earthquake.
This is a
I think
real.
we're going to be all right.
Earthquake.
This is
Yeah.
exciting. Look, the lights are shaking. I remember there was a guy on NBC News, Shotnick, his name might be, who on
Kent
the air,
Shotnick.
dove
Yeah,
under the
we're
desk.
We're still going.
This is a long one. It's not very deep or sharp, but it's still rolling.
It's still going.
It's still rolling.
Wow, we're on the
Knocking
air
stuff
in the
over.
middle of an earthquake. No, you know
I
what?
think,
I want
Kenny,
to tell you
we're gonna be
something.
fine.
It would be, if it gets worse,
Yeah.
you'll watch me pee in my pants. But at this moment, this is very livable.
Yeah.
But
certainly
but I have to say something. It's amazing because these earthquakes are moving all over around the globe, And
Has it stopped?
It has stopped.
Because
That's
the
just
lights are
residual
still shaking. They're going to shake for
They're
a while.
going to shake for a few more minutes because they're on chains.
well, let me ask you a question. Is it affecting my lighting?
You've never looked better.
Our greatest concern. It's like doing a show on a cruise ship, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
So many things come to mind. You both look smaller. I look fatter.
We were so young and full
We were
of
so
promise.
young, and I apparently thought it was cool to look like Rick Ocasek from the Cars. I don't know.
That's so good. Meanwhile, why did the Fonz not hit the table and make the earthquake stop?
There it is.
All right.
You know, when we need to fix that clip and add some camera shake to it, just so the audience can enjoy.
Yeah, if just these were not manned cameras, as they're still not. They're preset, but they just needed to tilt up and see the lights above our heads. We're doing this.
I don't know. I feel like
on
Kenny
chains.
Chen's back there.
Yeah, well, they could technically adjust them now. So the second clip we'll get to immediately, because in the middle of a Hank Azaria interview, who overdressed for the show. Sometimes people showed up just a little overdressed, and I didn't know why I didn't make it more clear that it was very relaxed. And he, in the middle of the story, decided he needed to bust Sam's balls about something that happened
2 weeks prior
Yeah.
at his home.
Yeah, which everyone had assumed had been completely forgotten.
Yes.
Until this moment.
Spam alarm.
Sam knows something about bluffing.
I beg your pardon?
No, you actually had that hand. Never mind. Sam knows about catching with 3-4 off when it's 155 to go pre-flop.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking
When it's
about.
155 to go,
And then
pre-flop.
turning into a rabbi.
I don't know what you're
giving
talking
you a sermon at. If I hit, I make a lot of money. If it hits, there's so much geld.
So we call implied odds, sir.
He's still.
Took him 12 minutes to turn it over. Then first the sympathetic sermon. What happened to you, my friend? It's terrible. Here's the 3. 20 years later. Here's the 4.
And do you really
I'll
remember?
never forget that
Do you
hand.
really remember it was 155 pre-flop to go?
Yes, I do.
You actually remember the amount?
Yep.
Because that's already 30 bad beats ago, at least.
Rob Moore made it 55 to go, which why he called that, I don't understand.
Right.
Then I popped it and made it 155, which Rob Moore called.
And then he thought he had pot odds.
Which he didn't with 3-4 off, not 3-way. I mean, yes, if you hit. The problem is you're only going to hit that hand not 1 out of 3 times.
Right.
You had a bad night and you were looking to catch up.
Precisely.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a winner. No more calls.
And he did, thanks to me. But
And
the truth is I was making a move myself.
Oh, clearly.
But then I turned an enormous amount of outs,
Yes.
Yes.
is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So I had to
important,
stay with the hand.
and surprisingly, once again, the hands we lose are the ones we remember. Mm-hmm. That's the curse.
But Sam's rabbinical sermons, when he beats you or when he loses, are horrible. How could you raise pre-flop with such a hand that not even Abraham himself would consider?
You may have just gotten off the hook of doing Larry King. That's how fucking fantastic that is. That's on the reel. Put that on the intermission reel. Just because it's Sam.
You should be ashamed of yourself with the 7 and the 5, my friend. However, here's my nuts. Ay, ay, ay. Then also, why that's so horrible is because for the previous however many hours I logged at the card table with Sam, when you play the 3-4 off, the lecture you get, how can you play such a hand? Only a Ganif and a Luftmann would play cards as this. So then you happily turn over. This is why you're horrible.
No,
Because if you meant that,
I never give
then
Ed the
what are
lecture.
you doing? Yes, what do you mean? Of course you do. Every time someone turns over a 7-8 suited to be, you're like, oh, you go 100 pre-flop with that.
No,
terrible
it's just
hand.
I just give a very
Puss
sarcastic.
on your head.
Nice call with those cards. That's all you get.
No, you give lectures and
I
people
know.
in with rags. Absolutely.
Let's check the tape. We're gonna have to check the tape on this.
He does. Trust me. 9 people who are watching. He does. And then, so if you were being insincere about that lecture, then what? If you were setting us up brilliantly that you'd never play,
Right.
Then my God.
Hank Azaria simply can't let it go.
Can't let it go. 20% of that is accurate.
I really still defending
you guys
himself.
he plays poker nearly every Tuesday, Kevin.
What's your point?
Well, can you attest to this being true or not?
You can't top what Hank just did. Yeah, no. So over the years, of course, I would ask people to write into kpcsfanmail@gmail.com. You're still welcome to if you want to follow up after hearing the final episode and throwing in, as it were. I'm going to read one here. Last episode, fan mail. Hey, Kevin. Yes?
Oh, I'm wistful.
Yeah. Just wanted to drop you a quick note to say how much I've enjoyed the show and thank you for doing the podcast all these years. Your humor and genuine interest in all your guests' paths to success has been so encouraging for me. When I started listening about 4 years ago, I was a wannabe writer up here in Seattle with no clue about how to break into the business. But I'd settle in for my drive to work or wherever I'd be headed. I'd start a podcast and suddenly I'd have a little insight from you and your guests, Jon Favreau, one of my favorites, that made my own journey seem that much more achievable. His journey home, you think, or do you mean?
Probably.
Yeah,
You know.
achievable. And I'm happy to report I'm no longer totally on the outside looking in. I've got an agent, a manager, writing full-time with
Okay, now he's just
WGA
bragging.
benefits. And woohoo insurance. Anyway, I'm grateful I found your show when I did and wish you all the best in future projects. Maybe our paths will cross someday. Hollywood seems like a small town. All the best to Jamie. I also married a Jamie. And Sam as well. Big fan. Jake Skorheim.
He married a Jamie and a Sam?
He did.
All right.
That's what the kids are doing these days.
To wrap things up, I felt like if I reached out to former guests and asked them to record on their iPhone some video send-offs, it might be a fun thing to share. This first one came from a nickname Benny Schwa. If you listen to him on
The Comedy Bing Bong?
Comedy Bing Bong.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Ben Schwartz.
I had to translate.
I'm going to have to ask you to keep your eye out for this question hidden within the send-off video. Does Ben Schwartz have an Emmy Award?
Wow. Wow. 10 years, a decade of Kevin Pollak's talk show. By the way, he made me buy this. Wouldn't give it to me for free. Had to Venmo him on the spot, $24.99. Wouldn't let me leave the building, actually. I said, I'll get to you next time. He goes, just to be safe, Venmo me now. That's what Kevin said to me. Look at his IMDb page. You wouldn't think they would have to do something like that, but he did. But what an honor to be on the show, and what an honor to get that group text that you sent to, I'm assuming everybody that's been on the show, just hoping that you can get anybody to make one of these videos back. So to me, thank you for having me on. I'm a huge, huge fan of the show. I've only seen the episode that I actually, I've only seen the episode that I was on, but I'm assuming it's the same shit in each episode, that you do like a walk-in and you do like Larry King and then you ask the interviewer questions. So a great 10 years, and a sincere point at the end to say that watching someone like you that tackles both comedy and drama and do it well is inspiring for people like me and for other comedians and actors. And the show was wonderful and beautiful. I'm happy it existed. I'm happy you existed. And fuck you for making me pay for this. Fuck you.
Why, the reason those of you listening need to watch the video is to answer the question, does he in fact have an Emmy? Just a quick little camera pan over to include
That
it.
wasn't an accident.
Nope. Rehearsed. Let's go quickly to the next one from Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey was on the show about 6 episodes in. And the interviewer from the LA Times was there. Again, 10 years ago, nobody knew what a podcast was. LA Times, front page, column 1, not the calendar's entertainment section. Column 1, the next day, Michael Jackson's death was reported in column 1. That's what column 1 is for. We made column 1 of the front page of the LA Times. I heard from 7 people. 5 of which read it online.
Well, Egon Spangler told us back in 1984 the print is dead, so.
Man, oh man, was he right. So here's a note from Dana Carvey.
Kevin,
Yes?
we have Jim Brooks and Al Jean next.
So let's do that. By the way, as wonderful and perfect of a laugh that provided, it would have, for the future, a little comedy note, funnier to then just show Jim Brooks. See, both funny. Both funny.
I'm
Jim
so
Brooks,
glad I skipped rehearsal.
Jim Brooks, hero to all, and Al Jean.
Because nobody loves The Simpsons more than Sam and I.
That's true.
I will challenge.
We have a Christmas tree that's covered in just Simpsons ornaments. Thank you, eBay. And so here they are outside the Simpsons office, which you can tell from the shrubbery. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jim Brooks.
I'm Al Jean, and we both had the privilege of being on the podcast.
Privilege. Is that really the word you want to use?
Well, I have to say that
10 years he was scraping every barrel in town.
I thought I was going to get mugged going down the alleyway to the stage. It was like that thing in Goodfellas where the guy goes, we got some suits back here for you if you just come down the alley.
I had a thing where I said, I want to give whatever fee there is to charity, and they laughed. and just nobody brought it up after that. Did they serve you anything at all?
No, it was really one of the worst experiences of my life, honestly.
And hey, man, oh, geez, we got to be. This is a guy spent 10 years of his life there. Will you please tell me if I'm smiling when I'm doing this?
Yeah, you're not.
Good.
Not bad. And let's go right to the aforementioned guest of Tom Hanks, if in fact that's who's next.
Hey, this is Tom Hanks. And as you might be able to tell, I'm livid. I don't understand the purpose of there being an internet. I don't get that there is a web. I don't understand that there is a world that exists that says goodbye to Kevin Pollak. The only reason to be an actor is to talk to interesting people about one's career. And with Kevin gone, that's it. I'm done. Goodbye, show business. Goodbye, Kevin.
Yeah. 2-time Academy Award winner. And he's done.
That's it.
That's like that. That must have been his trailer, I'm guessing.
I always wondered what it would be that would push him over the edge
Yeah.
to get out of the business.
Because it certainly wasn't all that Pabst Blue Ribbon.
No.
We thought
drank
that
the
would
happy
do it.
juice.
All right, the last one, and then we'll bring our guests out. This from, well, you'll know right away.
Oh, Kevin, what a monumental evening. I wish I could be with you there right now in LA at that theater for your special show. But I just don't wish it badly enough that I made a plane reservation to do it. Instead, I'm here in New York, close to my family, sending so much love to that theater. What's it called? Congratulations on an incredibly successful run of your talk show. I'll miss it. Thankfully, we have the internet, and I can go back and revisit it anytime I want. But you've earned this break, and you know why? Maisel money. Congratulations, or as you people like to say, Mazel Tov. Way to go, Jew.
Oh, Ant-Man. Oh, Ant-Man.
Everybody has to admit, Paul Rudd is perfect. Like, every man wants to be him, and every woman wants to be with him. He is perfect.
Yeah, and a Jew, which is just weird.
Seemed weird he threw around the Jewish stuff so dismissively.
Yeah. Because he assumes nobody knows he's Jewish.
Yeah.
That's what's happening there.
You know the family last name when they came to Ellis Island? Rudnisky. Look it up!
Paul Rudnisky for the block. All right. We've managed to kill 45 minutes, just 14 left, so let's bring out our guest. He was on the show 4.2 years ago. So please welcome returning guest and one of the top 10 stand-up comedians in known history, Mr. Jim Jefferies.
What a fucking pointless exercise this is. Why on earth would you have a guest on one of your final episodes? Just show the fucking clips of the really famous people. Don't fucking... People are switching off now.
Why?
You're putting Tom Hanks on before me, you asshole. Yeah. Why would you do that? I thought I was doing you a favor. You're just fucking hurting me here. I'm worried about what are you going to do now? What are you going to do with your life now that you don't? I know you've still got the acting.
Yeah, technically.
Do like The Usual Suspects 2? Uh-huh. Where everyone knows Kevin Spacey did it the whole time?
Well, it's what all we know he did. Yeah, remind me to show you later on this microphone where he tried to touch me.
On the microphone?
In the asshole. The asshole of the microphone is where he...
It could have just been a dick. You could have just gone at the tip of it. It's a dick, and you went in the asshole of the microphone.
I just remembered your son is here. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. I think me swearing in front of my son is very similar to like when you're meant to give kids germs so their immune system builds.
Fair enough. In fact, one of the things I wanted to ask you about...
And it's Saturday. I'm about to go to Dave & Buster's afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I was just doing this as a little drop-in. And so
no, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to show Tom Hanks again when we're done.
Fucking following the Fonz.
Yeah. Thanks, by the way, again for agreeing to be in the documentary I directed, Misery Loves Comedy, because one of the things you talked about in it was, in fact, about raising a son and raising him with your success, wanting him to be a normal kid and have a normal upbringing, as you did in a moderately or less successful family. But do I want...
You don't know who my father is. My dad's fucking Tom Hanks, man.
I'm recapping how you described it. So,
okay.
But you did make a really amazing point. I wanted to follow up now that it's been 5 years about how do I make sure he doesn't turn out spoiled when we go on vacation. I don't want him to have the terrible vacations that I used to have, as you said, in a caravan.
Yes. Yeah.
So
it's a caravan in Australia is
a trailer,
like a trailer, an RV thing, not just a whole lot of Mexicans coming at you. That wasn't my holiday. I didn't storm a border with a whole lot of people.
It does have a new meaning. Everything you have to check has a new meaning. And 5 years ago, certainly that was not the case when you said caravan.
Right.
People were just confused.
Yeah.
So how has it gone these last 5 years with the vacations with your son? And
it's all right. I asked him this week. I said we're having. I still me and his mother aren't together anymore, but we still holiday together. And I said, do you want to go to Disneyland in Orlando, Disney World or whatever, or do you want to go on a Disney cruise? And I thought that's fucking two shitty options for me. But but that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing is when you're an adult, you go, I'm going on holidays. If you're with your kid, it's not really a holiday. It's you're entertaining a person for a week.
Yeah.
Because my holidays, I just want to be blind drunk and taking mushrooms in Cancun or something. That's why, or just in a field.
And your son
I just want to be laying in a field, rolling around in my own mess, out of my skull. That's what I want to do for my holidays. But it turns out that's not what you're meant to do with kids, and you got to keep them entertained. And that's why people try to. That's why those cruise ships. You might knock the cruise ships. The cruise ships is wonderful because if you lose the child, they can't go that far. They're somewhere in this structure. We'll find it eventually. Have another drink.
Chances are they're not swimming.
Yeah, no. And then if it climbed over the edge, survival of the fittest, then that's natural selection, that is.
In its finest.
I didn't have a good one. It went over the edge.
Gotta try again.
Try again.
Yeah.
Try again.
And so was the decision made? Did he choose?
He wants to go on the cruise. I want to go to Disneyland, just Disney World, because I just want to, go to. I don't even know what Epcot Center is. Everyone goes, they got Epcot there.
It's the best.
Well,
is there rides or I learn about space? What the fuck is that?
No, it's about the World Showcase. The World Showcase, you go around and like just walk. And
But I've
drink
seen
it
the
up.
world.
I
I've been
know.
around it.
It's fun.
I've seen the actual world
I
and
knew
there was
I was
no
stepping
lines.
I knew I was stepping into shit with this. Whatever I was going to try to defend Epcot.
Is that what it is? It's like a world fair, and then you go, there's like a pissy little like Eiffel Tower, and you go, all right, that's fucking France done. Yeah. And then you go, is that all it is?
It's for Americans who don't have passports, who are never going to
so
travel.
80% of Americans.
Yes.
And why is it called Epcot?
It's an acronym. I have
I
answers to
assume it's
this.
an acronym, yeah.
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Wow. Wow, doesn't that sound very close to the Branch Davidians? You know what I mean? Experimental community of tomorrow?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
So
Does this community want to get rid of statues or they want to keep them up of fallen civil rights people?
I think when it was, it opened in '82. When did it open?
Oh, yes, back before people knew about the world. When it was all... In '82, we just didn't know. There was no way of knowing what the pyramids, what even shape they might be. Thank God we had fucking Orlando. Like if you travel to Orlando, you don't deserve to see the world. Like, just geographically, where you're pointing at, you're not even going near water. You're just going in the middle of like you don't deserve to see shit. That's like whenever people write to me and they go, when are you going to come to my town in fucking buttfuck Arkansas, little fuck town or whatever you know what I mean? I go, when are you coming to that town? And I never do it, but I feel like writing back, never, because you don't deserve entertainment. You haven't. See, I go to cities where people have paid a lot of rent. That's why there's traffic and there's problems parking your car. But you get good things. You have NBA teams and baseball teams and entertainers come to see you because you're paying a lot of money to see that shit. If you live in a fucking little Omaha, Nebraska type little fucking shithole, you don't deserve entertainment. You've made your bed.
Corey Levin on post, please create a small clip of that so that we can isolate it from
But if you watch my TV show on Tuesdays, thank you. Appreciate that. Because I know you still have TVs there. They have TVs.
Well, they have to have some form of entertainment.
Yeah.
I think they're the few that are still watching TV and not like streaming.
Are you always, it's when you go on stage, you know those towns, you go on stage, you go, what do you do for fun here? And they're like, we're seeing you. Oh, right. Like literally when the crowd shows up because you're the only thing to do.
Which is why eventually playing the smaller markets begins to make sense.
Yeah.
How does stand-up comedy travel around the world is one of the questions I had, and we're segueing right to it. Most comedians, yourself, Bill Burr, the bigger acts, you've been touring the world for a while.
I just did 10 Asian countries last month, and then last week I did South Africa, and then a whole month of December I did Australia. And the way the comedy travels these days is because of Netflix, it's fucking easy. Everyone's got it, and they've all seen it. It used to be like people were like, what's all this about? And there was some countries that weren't as savvy with stand-up, or they only knew their local people. But now everyone knows everyone.
Because you have a stand-up special on Netflix.
I'm just amazed that a lot of big American comics don't still leave America. There's all these markets that you can go to, and they're watching your special as much as Americans are. So I find it odd. Yeah, it's fine. And it used to be like you'd go to Asia, and it would be like it would be like all white businessmen coming to see me who just, but now it's like Asian people who speak English quite well, and there's some places that, I don't like New Zealand, but that's more my... I did a trip there, and fuck me, they're a painful bunch. They're just,
not a language barrier, just
my
the people
God.
themselves.
The accent on my ear is so grating with their little clippy. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, you've come to do a show. And they just heckle like small children who won't be going back. It's what you imagine. Like, Australia's really cool. There's beaches and nice things, and there's fucking beautiful women and good food, and New Zealand has none of that. And it's like it's like you cut the shitty bit out of the middle of Australia out, and you just threw it over. But they also get my TV show on Tuesdays, and I appreciate them watching that.
From their shithole country.
Yeah, but they don't deserve entertainment. You chose to live in that shitty fucking island. I think one of my best friends is Rhys Darby, and he was Murray off Fly of the Conchords, and so, so Fly of the Conchords and Rhys Darby, and then you don't need the rest of them.
What about Sam Neill? Can we keep Sam Neill?
Sam Neill, that fucker. I'll tell you a story about him. I'm flying domestically. You can go back through my tweets. This happened about 4 years ago, right? Actually, don't go too far back. You might find some Kevin Hart type of tweets. Anyway, so I can't remember everything I do drunk. Anyway, so I think I'm good. Anyway, so So I was on a flight, and like in America, if you're in business class, if the seats aren't full, they upgrade people. In New Zealand and Australia, they're like, nah, fuck ya. If you didn't pay for it, so like sometimes, and it's just a little hour flight, and you'll be sitting there by yourself, and there'll be the other 8 seats, or it doesn't work, the other 7 seats will be empty. So it was just me and Sam Neill, and there was like 12 seats, right? 6 on both sides. Yeah, 12 seats. He was sitting behind me, and we sort of staggered ourselves so we could recline and like that. We were the only 2 people in business class, and then we got to get off the plane. And he went to the beginning. Now, I know it's just me and him, but there is a plane etiquette when you... There is an etiquette. He
jumped in front of you.
There is an etiquette. It goes row by row.
Yeah.
This isn't an anarchy fucking society where you can just start doing that. Like, what's the hurry? You're going to get off just... And like, I know people are thinking, why am I so petty? Why do I give a fuck if Sam... Because I do. I just do. Because I'm a shitty person, I guess. But yeah, he gets that. So then I went on a radio show and said how disappointed I was in that. And then Sam Neill started tweeting nasty shit about me. So...
Like?
We're just telling him that he's just basically told me to fuck off and that he can go to the front of the plane whenever he wants. Now that's what happens when you come from a shitty little country with 3 celebrities. They get very fucking uppity when there's just 3 of them. Right? See, that's like whenever I get on a plane... I always sit down and I look around at everybody else who's on the plane, and if I see someone more famous than me, and it's not hard to be more famous than me, I'm not like, this is an easy, like the other day I was there and I saw Bob Saget. I know Bob Saget, but Bob Saget's more famous than me, and I looked at Bob Saget and I thought to myself, fuck man, I'm the big bopper on this flight. I'm not, if it goes down.
I've been there, I've been in that seat.
If it goes down, I'm in the news, but I'm not the news. And I would like to be the news. Beloved father of Full House, and then fucking guy who says the C word a lot. My son's here. I don't say that word in front of him.
Caravan. He meant caravan.
Caravan. But yeah, no, I don't know if that... What question did you ask?
How could it possibly matter? Is the correct answer to that question. No, it doesn't matter. Well, listen.
Okay.
I was talking about traveling the world as a stand-up and going to different
that's
countries.
right. Yeah.
But when you said you played 10 different locations within Asia?
Yes. It's not one country.
I understand.
They'll have you think it is.
I understand.
Asia's only got 2 speeds,
Uh-huh.
right? It's got 2 speeds. It's got countries that have sorted it out, your Japans, your Hong Kongs, your Singapore, and then they've got the other countries where, fuck, it's a mess. We don't know. Ping pong balls fucking flying out of vaginas. There's fucking...
Ping pong balls.
Yeah, no.
And did you play any of the messed up?
Oh, yeah, no. I like the messed up places more. I feel more at home there. I like Indonesia and like Bali and all that type of stuff, and Malaysia and that type of stuff. And Singapore, I feel like I'm going to get arrested the whole time and walking around going, oh, I'm breaking a lot of their laws. I can just tell. And
do you talk about this on stage to them?
I do, yeah. Of course I do, yeah.
That's part of the fun.
You got to fill the time, don't you? That's the thing with stand-up is you got to do about an hour and a half of it each night. So you got to just fucking. I'm of the opinion with stand-up is what you do is you just keep talking until you say something profound, and if you do it long enough, something good will come out of your mouth. I sometimes read quotes of mine on the internet that I don't remember saying. I'm like, that's a fucking good quote, man.
It just comes out eventually.
Yeah. Eventually you'll say something and you'll sound intelligent. People never write all the stupid shit. They never do a meme of you going, oh, what hand am I meant to wipe my ass with? They never do that. It's always something clever that you've accidentally said.
You say the show's on Tuesdays. When does it come back?
I believe so.
End of March?
The second week in March. And the reason we did all these countries was we just did field pieces for the TV show. So
great.
Like it's similar like John Oliver's show or Trevor The Daily Show, but I do my own field pieces. So we did like basically 3 months of field pieces. We got them all in the can, and we did stuff on South. We did like a slum tour of South Africa, which is fucking weird. The white people want to go through the slums and just look at people like, that's a shitty house.
That's an actual tour.
Yeah, it's an actual tour that people taking photos. I guess it's no different from people driving around the Hollywood Hills looking at big people's houses, just the opposite way, but it was kind of gross.
It is gross.
And we did a thing about shark finning when they cut the shark's fin off. Yeah, I know, right? I know. How many sharks do you reckon? I know this shit now, right? How many sharks do you reckon get killed a year?
Per year?
Per year.
Tens of thousands.
100 million.
100
million sharks get killed and finned every single year. I didn't know this until like 2 weeks ago.
What percentage had it coming?
Well, this is them. Yeah. That's a good point.
There's got to be a couple pricks.
Yeah, tell me they got the one that got that little surfer girl's arm.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that the sharks is a weird one because then I was speaking to shark experts and I went like, okay, when you hear that figure, you're like, well, how many fucking sharks do we have? I thought we had 100 million all up. I thought that was it, right?
Throughout time, that
and
would
now
be the
they're
number.
like anywhere between 500 million and 6 billion. And I'm like, well, I need to know that figure before I start to care, right? Because if it's 6 billion, we're killing 100 million, and they're giving birth to like 80 million, then eat your fucking fins, right? But if it's like we've only got 200 million and we're just getting them all, and then they don't even know. No one's ever seen a great white shark give birth in the history of human.
And there's several hundred million to choose from.
No one knows how they do it.
Right.
I figure it's out the vagina. No one's seen it, but I have a theory. Imagine if that's the one animal that shits out a baby. Is the fucking the irony? The great white shark shits because the baby would be covered in shit. You see?
Yeah. I mean, the chicken's got the cloaca, which technically
is the cloaca.
That would be both orifices as one.
Both orifices as one. I've always thought that about the human body, that they didn't design the female anatomy real great. Like, it's good. Like, individually, the arsehole and the vagina are both excellent. Individually.
Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
But they live too close to each other. Because the
As
girls
a
always,
woman, I agree.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that and get it near that. I'll get an STI. And you're like, a UTI. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to get the thing. Oh, no, now you touch that. Go clean that off before you go back to that. The vagina should be like in the shoulder or something. like really far away.
Let's cut to a clip of that now, shall we? Nope. Don't have it. Yeah.
So to answer your questions, it's 10:30 on a Tuesday.
Can I ask a question about the show?
Please.
Yeah.
Which I've never missed since it started. It's
Oh,
one of my
thank
favorite
you.
shows on TV. Whose choice was it to have the chair behind the desk lean back so far?
Oh, that's me. I like to shift around in my chair. Everyone talks about that. Why people get
Well,
very
because
upset.
you
'cause
go from proper height within
I
the
go
camera
and
frame
then I
to
lean
half-
back to just being a head
Right,
sticking
it's
out.
Passover all the
And I
time.
come back up.
Yeah.
It just
Talk
feel,
to the cameraman if you want to know who
And
has a
I
problem
have like
with
I
it.
don't know like how many I have like the the teleprompt. I have like 5 of them around me so I can swivel and see him all the
Yeah.
time. I think it was me. I think I just hit the latch one time.
Yeah.
It makes me look a lot short. I'm going to name it. I'm friends with Russell Crowe, and he rang me up after the first one. He goes, "You look too short behind the desk." That's what he said. If I could give you a tip,
Unsolicited, no doubt.
it would be to raise the chair up 3 inches.
Yeah.
He was fucking adamant.
Yeah. Much has been said about your weatherman, and talk about field reports. I enjoyed the one from Venice.
Yeah.
That he, I'm assuming, did on his phone.
Yeah.
But what I delighted in it is that it's Brad Pitt. He took his the jacket and the tie, which you had given him to take on the road with him.
Yeah.
Should he ever decide?
Well, we had Brad Pitt. I interviewed him for something that never made the air or something. It was my first ever interview, but we had the same agents or something, and he asked if I could interview him for a movie. And I was so nervous. I think the interview turned out like crap, whatever. But then he just said to my management, he said, "Oh, I can be on Jim's show. Let me know, right?" And they said, "Oh, Brad wants to be in your show." And they go, "Maybe you could interview him about architecture or something like that, or the things that he does in New Orleans." And I rang him up and I was like, "Hey, man, do you want to come on the show?" And I said to my management, I said, "Maybe you could just be my weatherman." And they go, "We hate that. That would be an embarrassing thing for him to do. Don't even suggest that, right?" And I'm like,
So naturally.
yeah. And so I rang him and said, "Do you want to talk about architecture?" And he's like, No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about architecture. And I said, Would you like to be me weatherman? Love it. Let's do it. Okay. And so no one else on the set had spoken to him, no producers or anything like that. So I just went up, and it was like people thought I was insane. I went up to the writer's room and said, "All right, we've got to write a sketch for Brad Pitt to be a weatherman on the show. He's going to show up because we record at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, right?" And I said, "He's going to be here at like 9:45. And then they're like, "All right." And everyone's just going, "So Brad's coming, is he?" I go, "Yeah." And there was no contact. It was only through me. And I was like, I go, "Get a trailer. Brad Pitt's coming." They put a sign, Brad Pitt, on it. I was like, fuck. And then he was like 5 minutes later. I remember sweating. I was like, fucking hell. If he doesn't come, I just look like, not like an asshole, I look like a madman. I look like a person who's just been fucking bragging about, I talked to him on the phone. And so he came, and he couldn't have been more charming and more nice. And he's just like the fucking sweetest, most genuine guy you could meet. And then afterwards, we had this suit, and he looked like a 70s weatherman. And we were like, "Hey, you can have the suit." And then we go, "Could we record some other stuff with you, like doing other weatherman bits, like for future episodes?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then he leaves, and he was like filming like a movie in Mumbai or some shit, and he was doing another one on the Venice canals. And I was just like it was like 3 a.m, and I get a beep on my phone, and it's just Brad Pitt filming himself in the suit. And he's like on the Venice canals going, "As you might see here, Jim, the water levels have increased. The streets are now..." Like, this is... I don't know if we even sent him a script. He just fucking... He's just a great sport, right?
It is the greatest shits alive. It really is.
Yeah, he's the he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah, but now I realize now, because like what you said with people podcasting, because like Seth Rogen became my weatherman after Brad did, and now it's like I'm after like an A-list sort of female weather person for this season. I haven't got one yet.
Sure.
And it's like, I've set a few feelers out there, but I feel like if I'm at a party with famous people now, people don't want to talk to me because I'm going to go, do you want to be a weather person?
Reason 17, I'm quitting doing this chat show, because that's what happens when you book your own thing for 10 years. You're at a gathering, and all I'm thinking is, do I go up and ask this person?
I want to ask you something. Do you know anyone who could be my weather person?
I do. I absolutely do.
Get Tom Hanks for me,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly. I'll get you the female Tom Hanks.
Sandra Bullock.
There we go, Sandy B.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I also love that what you just described for yourself was kind of what I was going through today at 5 minutes to 4.
I wasn't here.
When did you last talk to Jim?
Oh, I saw your phone number flash up on my car on the screen, and
you were driving.
Yeah, no, but I could have answered it.
Why do you want to relax my sphincter? That makes no sense.
But me and my son were playing a game where we were trying to spot red cars, and I thought. So I didn't. I knew I was going to make it there on time. I said, "Fuck it, let him sweat." Fucking.
Yeah.
It's his last show.
You're my Brad Pitt, man. You're my Brad Pitt.
People would be happier watching the clips anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I think this has gone pretty well as we're wrapping it up here. I can't thank you enough, honestly, for spending 17 minutes with us.
Is that how long it's been?
No, it's been longer than that.
It's been dragged, hasn't it?
No.
This is the New Zealand of podcasts.
That's reason 4 we're quitting. Yeah, but that's going to be on the one sheet.
Now you have a great quote for a poster. Hey, is there a podcast award show, the Potties or something? You know what the weird thing is that no one even has iPods anymore.
Nope.
And they still the name podcast. It should be called a phone download thing. Like pod is not the term anymore, right?
That's exactly right.
And it's still stuck with us. It's the you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
It feels like a weird thing.
Podcast was devoted to the pod.
It's like the guy who made the GoPro, right? I saw him on Shark Tank, right?
Can't get enough of the show.
Yeah, it should be Shark's Tank. And in other countries it's called Dragon's Den.
Right.
And it's made by a company called Endemol, and this is the 18th country that's taken on the TV show. And I'll be fucked if I can see one more time Mark Cuban go, "The American dream is alive and well here on Shark Tank." and you're like, "Fuck you, you idiot!" It's the same dream that every other country fucking has. What? You work hard and you get more money. You know what I mean? Like this idea that you think it's special to you is mental, right?
Well, you're saying we didn't invent the dream?
No, you didn't. The dream of if you work like in every other country was like this. I thought if I worked hard, I'd have less money and my life would go downhill. You're saying it would go the other way. Anyway, so I was watching, there was a billionaire on it who invented the GoPro camera. That's where he made all of his money. And then I heard him talk about it, and I thought, this guy doesn't deserve any fucking money. And he's like, I wanted to call it the surf cam, but then I thought to myself, people could film themselves skateboarding as well. Like he was so close to just calling it a surf cam, and then it wouldn't have sold.
No, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm just saying, podcast isn't a great name.
Yeah.
So it's like they kept on going, "What do you want to call your TV show?" And I kept on going like, "We'll call it The Offensive, The Hour, The This, The That." And then I said, "Call it The Jim Jefferies Show." I just wanted it to be so that I'm unfireable.
Like the Daily Show, they keep.
You don't want the show to get really successful, and I get a big drug habit, and then just replace him.
Yeah.
You want me to be like, all right, I'm going to burn the place down.
Yeah, plus Jon Stewart took all the money Comedy Central had, so it's not going to be over a salary dispute.
No. That's why they brought me in at a reasonable price. Yeah. I just find it weird now that all the people who do these TV shows where we talk. Like I'm an American citizen. Just in the last sort of 6 months, but so I'm an Australian. Trevor's a South African. John Oliver's
Oliver.
British. Samantha B's Canadian. It's like you fuckers.
We gave up.
No, can't you see yourself? Like, you really need us to explain, like, yeah, having healthcare is a good thing. And you're like, what? This idea? These people, like, you need foreign. It's so weird you need foreigners to tell you shit.
Yeah.
But I went to Epcot. I've seen the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Jim.
Yes.
I would very much like to leave the stage and have you do another hour, quite frankly, but that's not going to happen. We are unbelievably lucky and grateful that you joined this proceeding, as it's historic for us and just a little drive-by for you. It really meant the world to me.
No, this is a fun way to spend my afternoon, man.
Okay, good. And
otherwise, I'd have to play with me kid or
Yeah, how many red cars are out there, really?
You know what I mean? We counted 15 red cars.
I would ask Sammy or Jaime if they had a question, but it would take another 27 minutes to answer it. So,
Yeah, my comedy has become like that fucking grandma who tells you about people you don't know.
oh my God, that's perfect. That is the perfect fucking analogy. Yeah, because at some point we just know too much. So if you're going to ask us something, we're going to go on a while.
Yeah, that's what I sort of, with those late night shows and stuff, like doing Conan and all that, I just go on and just, I'm going to say what I want to say, and don't worry about their questions. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking until you talk about shark finning.
Yeah.
No one's asked you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is the best way. The comedians, we will, in the guise of conversation, do material, for sure.
I didn't do any material then. I wouldn't waste it here. I don't.
No, please, that's okay.
Because you want, like,
well, if none of that was in the act, I'm going to suggest some of it goes in the act.
No, none of it. That's none of my stand-up. No, but it's one of those things that, like, you know, now, like, with you record specials and stuff, and then you got to retire your jokes. In the old days, like when you did comedy,
back in the 40s, yeah.
Yeah, like in the old days, you could do the same routine forever, and no one bloody knew.
Still doing
it.
And
then the internet came and fucked us over, and then it's like, oh, you've done that routine again. And you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like you could still be doing your Nixon stuff.
Yeah.
No one would care.
They didn't care when I did it originally. Let's please say thank you to Mr. Jim Jefferies.
Right. Thanks, man. Love you.
Jim Jefferies has left the building. Oh, man. Dream come true. I asked 2 questions and we went 45 minutes.
It is honestly shocking that the court allowed this to be his community service. They are getting very liberal there, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jaime, when he was yelling at Orlando, he certainly...
I'm not going to apologize for my love of Epcot Center. I do not care.
Let's hear it for Epcot Center, please. Because people who love it will not take shit.
You're either a Disney person
from
or
anyone.
you're not, and I'm not going to apologize for my love of Disney theme parks.
Nor should you. It was just an opportunity for him to be ridiculously funny. That was absolutely a comedy clinic for my book. And so I want to thank Sammy and Jaime. We're going to do one more of these right here with this very audience.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We're going to pretend to end this one.
Oh.
With a little sign-off business.
All right.
And then we'll do another, the absolute last one. You know what? Let's turn the house. Let's get rid of these people and bring in another audience.
Maybe they should just do like a musical chairs and shuffle around.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 19-minute break while everyone finds a different seat.
Yeah. And if you wind up in the same seat you started in, there will be a fine.
$11. But fair.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
We're not going to take any break at all other than to wrap up the show physically. That is to say, with a graphic that you're hoping won't work. But thank you all for this particular episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sammy and Jaime.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Until next time, and as always, get out of my face.
Kevin, it's 10 years. What is most astounding about what you achieved is that someone with your ego can sound so interested in other people. And your flair and expertise at self-promotion is so brilliant that you came up with this 3-4 years before anybody knew what a podcast was. We didn't know the definition of podcast. I know that at least 40% of the time, while you're talking to people, what's going on in your head is, what the fuck am I doing interviewing this person when I should be interviewing myself? Sammy, Jaime, you've been so great for this show, because without you, Kevin would have just been another bloated interviewer with a microphone. But now, Kevin, I'm so happy for you. 10 years. It's ridiculous. And I just want to say that now that Mrs. Maisel is on the air, and you're so wonderful in it, and it's such a great show, you've changed.